Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. An exciting conversation is about to begin. We have Mr. Cricket Marcus Daniel on the line this morning, and of course, we're going to be talking about the Carifta games that concluded just yesterday. Mr. Daniel, are you there? Good morning.
Good morning, Adanna, and good morning to viewers of Tobago Updates Television.
Right, Akinlabi is also here with me this morning, and we are very
Hey.
excited to be talking about the Carifta Games. And thank you so much for always being so very involved and passionate about sports. And we were able to follow the games. Well, I was able to follow the games by your social media posts and your excitement and your support for Team TTO. So tell us a little bit about your experience being there, what the crowd was like, what the energy was like before I get into the athletes' performance.
Yeah, of course, this is Trinidad and Tobago, and the land of the greatest show on earth, which is Carnival. And I'm sure that all the 27 nations who would have actually journeyed here to Trinidad and Tobago for the Caribbean Games, they would have had a wonderful time at the Hazel Crawford Stadium. Every single day, they couldn't find a seat in the covered stands. It was ram out, and one or two times they had persons, they had to go across to the uncovered stands, and they had to face the hot sun. But with the performances on the track and in the field, they were very happy to do that. But I was very happy to be there for all 3 days supporting Team TTO. And of course, this track and field on a whole, the crowd, they showed up, supported Team TTO. And even when we didn't win, we supported all the other islands. Obviously, we had some really good performances on the track and on the field, astonishing performances. And as a sport enthusiast, even though your team didn't do as you expected, just seeing the youngsters from the different nations coming out there and supporting their nation and seeing their nations supporting them wholeheartedly with flags and the horns and the drums, it was just an amazing atmosphere. It felt like Carnival in April. To, to be honest, and we had the DJ and the announcers, bringing the flair and adding to the atmosphere. It was just an amazing time in Trinidad and Tobago, and he spoke a lot about sport tourism, and I think that's a market that we need to tap into more. Give the people of the region and around the world some part of our culture, not just showing them on a television screen or by marketing, but bring them to Trinidad and Tobago, bring them and let them feel the atmosphere. And I made new friends from different islands, just sitting with them, conversing with them, sharing our experiences as athletes in Trinidad and Tobago. And it was just an amazing feeling being there at the Hazel Crawford Stadium, just seeing all the athletes performing to the best of their abilities.
And that's the thing about sport, it kind of it builds community. I know you spoke about sport tourism, but in terms of building community, friendships, relationships, I know a lot of people who have lasting friendships as a result of participating or going to a sporting event. I also have my own experience of being in a stadium where I think it was cricket I went to one time, and I got there, I didn't know anybody there. I know you, Mr. Cricket. I got to the stadium, I didn't know anybody there. And when I arrived, a group of people said, "Yeah, come over here, look the cooler here." I didn't have any
Yeah,
drinks or
man.
anything. And that's just what sports does, And I really like the fact that we can, see the opportunities that sport will provide. Let's talk about our
Yeah,
athletes' performance.
yeah.
As I said before, through your social media posts, I was able to follow what was happening. And, I felt that sense of pride that was coming from you and also from the other supporters, the people who got our athletes there in the first place ready. So in terms of their performance, how did you think it kind of played out on the track and the field?
No, we ended with 25 medals in total, two less than last year's contribution in Grenada. And I felt that we could have gotten more than 25, somewhere in the region of 30. But with that said, I felt that they gave it their best shot. Every single athlete that I saw represented Trinidad and Tobago, whether it was on the field, in the field events or the track events, you could have seen that they wanted to do well for Trinidad and Tobago. They wanted to do well for the crowd because the crowd was right behind them. Whether they win or whether they finish last, we were right behind them 100%. And at the end of the day, we finished with 9 gold medals, 6 silver, and 10 bronze medals. Last year we got like 4 golds, and this year we got 9. And I felt that was a contributor based on the support that they got from the crowd, the 12 man. And there was one particular athlete that I'm really hoping that the management, when I've had a discussion with him, our 5,000 boys open athlete. He led that race. It's actually 12 laps. He led that race, 12 and a half laps, sorry. and he led that race for 12 laps. And on the final bend, the final 200 meters, obviously the guys who were trailing him, they put some pressure on him, the Jamaicans to be exact, and he just quit. The guy just quit, took his jersey off, went up the stairs and out of the gang, and all of us there, we were like, what was that about, I'm really hoping that, after reviewing that performance, and then the management as well, they have a good conversation with him, because at the end of the day, you are here representing your country, representing yourself, representing your school, representing your family, and we are not quitters. You need to finish. I mean, if he had chopped on the track and, they wheeled him off, I wouldn't mind at all, but don't ever take off your shirt, walk up the track, walk up the stairs and walk up the stands. Nah, don't do that at all. And I mean, outside of that, every single athlete. I mean, big up to O'Shea Cummins out of Tobago. She won the first medal for Trinidad and Tobago, representing in the 1005 under 17. She ran her heart out, and my goodness, the crowd lapped up her performance, and not just her winning it's just her personality. After she won gold, Adanna and Akinlabi, she had the crowd going with her dance moves, and she ran and she got the crowd right up. And then in the 3,000 meters, she got bronze. O'Shea Cummins won the heart of the crowd at the Carifta Games. I must say, even when she wasn't performing, they spoke of O'Shea Cummins out of Tobago, Mason Hall Secondary, Zenith Athletic Club. Big up yourself. Big up the parents, of course, of O'Shea Cummins. They were right there supporting her 100%. And I really must say, I'm talking here now and I'm still getting goosebumps from her performance in the 1,005 and the 3,000 meters. O'Shea Cummins, congratulations to her and her school. And of course, I want to also recognize the coaches out of Tobago, Kelsey Toussaint Reed, Curtin Tom, and Alan Morrison. Shout out to Kiki Melvin, who was the manager, and every single athlete from Trinidad and Tobago, Team TTO. You guys represented all 78 athletes and 28 members of staff. Congratulations to you guys. Yes, we may not have gotten the amount of medals that we set out to do at home, but I must say you guys represented the red, white, and black full 100%. Every single athlete who got gold, every single athlete who got silver, bronze, you guys represented and represented well.
Marcus, I know that earlier in the day we spoke about the increase in gold medals, and in track and field, they really count your standing on the table based on the amount of gold medals you win.
Yes,
and I know over the years that Trinidad and Tobago has really struggled in terms of bringing home gold in the Carifta Games. But this year we more than doubled the amount that we took the year before. What do you think contributed to that increase, that huge jump in the amount of gold medals we took?
Well, and again, as I mentioned with the coaches there, I want to shout out all the clubs, because I mean, it's no secret that we had some troubles in getting the stadium in Trinidad and Tobago, the Dwight York Stadium, the Hazel Crawford Stadium, and other facilities ready in a particular standard to allow for athletes to train and prepare for the Carifta Games. But the clubs, they maintained their training program, and they had the athletes ready, and then they went out there on a brand new track. The athletes went out on a brand new track, and obviously the 12-man, the crowd, I'm telling you, that crowd, I mean, I thought I was actually on the track as well. Just feeling the vibe and the energy from the crowd. Every step the athletes made, the crowd was right behind them and gave them that vibe, that energy. There was a particular guy at a 400 4x4. I mean, he was on the last leg, and even before he got the baton for his last leg, he was actually rallying up the crowd, come on, support. And I mean, just feeling that vibe, I felt that the crowd was right there, and that was the extra energy and the extra push we needed at home, given that, normally when we travel, you only have the support as home. So I felt that the crowd played a big part. The coaches, the clubs that they represent, they played a big part. And I want to also recognize two athletes again. This guy, Breon Scott, my goodness, the 800-meter boy, he ran. Akinlabi, if you see that guy, very, very confident, and he played and he toiled with his opponents. Just about 200 meters to go in the 800 meters, he just like the Fast and Furious, and he put in an extra gear, and he ran away from them to win gold in the 800 meter. And obviously, Christopher Sammy spoke about winning in the semifinals, how he won the semifinals, him and his partner Amani, and he spoke about dragging them out in the finals. And he said that, hey, in the finals, me and my boy Amani, we're gonna do it 1-2, and they did it. They did 1-2 in the boys on the 17 3,000 meters. Amani Christopher Sammy also one goal in the boys 1005 under 17. So Christopher Sammy, Brian Scott, Janet Degan out of Tobago as well. She didn't win gold this year, but she got silver. Just some athletes that we gotta look out for. Remember their names, the Frederick sisters, the twins there, and of course the Vincents, a number of athletes, Akinlabi and Adanna, that if it is that we continue to invest in them, I'm sure that the next Olympic Games, outside of us not winning last time, we're sure we get some medals coming up in the next Olympic Games.
Marcus, I've never been this excited to speak about sports in my life. And I wish we had more time to continue this conversation this morning because, as I said, based on my experience through your posting on social media, I too got really, really excited. And the names you were calling while I was off screen, I was really smiling from ear to ear because I saw the performances there and I felt the pride as well. And I even saw when the athletes were calling onto the crowd, cheer me on, to give them the energy and the drive. So we really have to continue investing in our athletes to ensure that we can get this measure of pride every time we participate in sporting events, whether far or wide. Thank you so much for joining us on set this morning, Marcus, to bring that information to us. And we do hope that we will continue to have exciting sports conversations right here on Tobago Updates Television. Ladies and gentlemen,
have a good day.
You as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we end the morning show. But before we go, did you guess the photo of the day? Did you guess the photo of the day where it is taken? The photo of the day this morning, of course, a beautiful shot here right on the island of Tobago. This is Topaz Bay, submitted by Mohammed Rahman. Thank you so much for that photo. This is where we end the morning show. And we say thank you so much for staying with us throughout the entire show. But our programming continues with GMT. So do stay with us as those conversations are unfolded right here for you on Tobago Updates Television. But in the meantime, help us to share the live, share the live.